Gao Tu had always lived with a single wish, a wish so small it could almost have been mistaken for nothing at all. He didn't dream of riches, nor of fame, nor of a grand destiny. No, his desire was something far more ordinary and yet infinitely more precious. He wanted to be seen. He wanted to be acknowledged. He wanted to be treated, not as less, not as weak, not as a burden, but simply as an omega. By Shen WenLang. For Gao Tu, that name was everything. Shen WenLang was his colleague, his senior, his longtime presence in both his memories and his heart. And for years, Gao Tu thought, if only one day WenLang could treat me with fairness, with honesty, with respect, I would have no other regrets in this life. That was all. That was enough. Or so he believed. But time is cruel and so is desire. What begins as a gentle yearning can, with the passing of days, grow into something sharper, something more dangerous. Hope transforms into hunger. A glance lingers too long. A silence becomes unbearable. And without realizing when it happened, Gao Tu found himself asking for more. More than friendship, more than acknowledgement, more than the little crumbs of warmth he had secretly cherished. Now he wanted Shen WenLang's heart, and this new longing terrified him. Because what had Shen WenLang done to him? He had taken Gao Tu, once content with his quiet corner, once satisfied with shadows, and turned him into something greedy. A thief, a liar. Gao Tu had lied. Yes. He had concealed truths, disguised his identity, woven a web of small deceptions. At first, it was to survive, to protect himself. But slowly, those lies entangled him, dragging him deeper into a world where he no longer recognized himself. He had stolen moments that weren't his to claim. He had stolen warmth from nights that should have been honest but were poisoned by secrecy. And worst of all, he had stolen the one thing he never should have touched. Hope that Shen WenLang, the proud alpha who scorned omegas, who rejected their nature, who claimed to despise their scent, might one day look at him differently. That perhaps, just perhaps, Shen WenLang could love him. The thought alone made Gao Tu's blood run cold. It was madness. Delusion. A dream conjured from loneliness. Every time it surfaced, he shook it away as if banishing a ghost. But the ghost always returned, and with it came terror. Because when Gao Tu closed his eyes, when he lay awake at night in the suffocating dark, he wondered if he was losing himself. Was this hallucination? Was this insanity? Was he clinging to a fantasy so cruel it would one day destroy him? The walls of his heart closed in tighter. The shadows whispered louder. The fear grew heavier. And then, as if fate were determined to crush what little composure he had left, came the revelation that would break him completely. Gao Tu discovered he was pregnant. In that moment, the world shattered. The word pregnant echoed in Gao Tu's mind like thunder. Pregnant. Impossible. Unthinkable. And yet, the truth was undeniable. His hands had gone cold. His ears rang. The sterile walls of the clinic seemed to close in around him until there was nothing left but silence. When the doctor spoke, his voice was firm, clinical, unyielding. Mr. Gao, you must terminate the pregnancy immediately. With your pheromone disorder, it is impossible for you to carry this child without the support of your alpha. The words landed like knives, each syllable cutting into flesh that was already too fragile. Terminate. Impossible. Cannot. The doctor's eyes softened slightly, but his tone remained grave. This isn't about choice. This is about survival. Without the soothing of your bonded alpha, your body will collapse under the strain. You've already experienced nausea, sleeplessness, and severe weakness. These are only the beginning. Gao Tu's throat tightened. He wanted to speak, but the words caught, suffocating him before they reached his lips. Finally, with a voice that was barely more than a whisper, he forced them out. Is there no other way? The silence that followed was deafening. The doctor exhaled slowly, as though the weight of countless similar tragedies pressed down on his shoulders. Artificial pheromones exist, yes. Extracts from other alphas, yes. But they are temporary, unstable. They cannot replace the comfort of the alpha who gave you this child. You would be risking both lives, yours and the baby's. Gao Tu gripped the edge of the chair until his knuckles whitened. His lips trembled as he asked, "But what if I tried? What if I found someone else? What if I..." The doctor cut him off, voice sharper now, tinged with frustration born from compassion. "Mr. Gao, listen to me. It is already a miracle that you conceived at all. Omegas with disorders like yours almost never manage it. And without the father's pheromones to sustain you, every passing day will make the pregnancy harder to endure. This isn't just difficult, it is dangerous." Dangerous. The word lingered like a curse, but Gao Tu's heart refused to accept it. The fear inside him was vast, but beneath it was something stronger, an ache, a yearning, a desperate need that could not be silenced. His child. Not an accident, not a burden, a piece of him. And of Shen WenLang. The thought alone made his chest tighten with unbearable warmth and unbearable pain. He lowered his head, ashamed at how much he wanted it, ashamed at how his voice cracked as he confessed, "Doctor, I want to keep this child." The doctor's eyes widened with disbelief. His hand slammed the medical record against the table, anger spilling through his usually calm demeanor. "Want? How can you want this? This isn't a game. You can't do this alone. Doesn't the alpha who used you, who despises omegas yet still bedded one, bear any responsibility at all?" The words stung, but Gao Tu flinched, shaking his head, his voice small. He's not like that. It's not his fault. It's mine. All of this is mine." He drafted legal documents, property waivers, inheritance severance, parent-child agreements. He tried to clear himself, to prove he wanted nothing but the child. Not love, not recognition, just the right to bring this life into the world. But when he finally gathered the courage to speak to Shen WenLang, the answer was merciless. "Of course. Abort it." The words crushed him. Every fragile hope, every plan, every dream, shattered. No artificial pheromones, no borrowed alpha, no negotiation could save him now. He stood outside the clinic, staring at the ground as if the earth itself could swallow his despair. Even when his father asked, "What will you do, Gao Tu? Have you thought of the future?" all he could whisper was, "I don't know." And then Shen WenLang appeared, his voice hoarse, trembling. "Gao Tu, long time no see. Why are you hiding from me? Don't. Please. Let's talk." Years of avoidance collapsed in an instant. Gao Tu looked at him, the alpha who once swore he hated omegas, the alpha who broke him, the alpha he still loved. For the first time, Gao Tu saw the truth in his eyes. "I hate omegas," Shen WenLang whispered. "But if it's you, I would love you to the point of madness. I don't like children. But if they're yours, I would never let them be hurt." And in that moment, Gao Tu realized sometimes even the most impossible dreams, born from pain and despair, can still come true. If this story touched your heart, like and share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and hit the bell to hear more emotional ABO Desire stories.